Aaron Whitlow from the Mark Out Movie Podcast, and I thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Shudder in Horror. It's a weekly episodic show in which we look at movies or shows or documentaries that's on the Shudder streaming service and see if they're good and if that streaming service is worth you getting. So, in this episode, we're looking at a movie called We Are What We Are from 2013, written by Jim Mickle. So, this movie is about the Parker family who lives in a small town who has these weird, secretive traditions, but those traditions are now threatened because somebody is hunting for people and mysteries and such, and it involves the Parker family. So let's dive into it, guys. So this movie is really good. It stars, I'm not going to name everybody in it, but I'm going to name one person in particular, Julie Gardner, who I want to make sure I got her name right. Julia Gardner. I'm sorry. She is in Ozark. She's tremendous in Ozark as Ruth Langford, and she's one of my favorite characters in that show. So seeing that she was in this movie made me want to see her in this film, and she knocks it out the park, guys. She's really good in this movie. She has to be very emotional and go to a very, very weird place in this film in order to do this performance, and she did a great job. I recommend anyone put this on your in your queue on the Shudder streaming service if you have it. If you don't have Shudder, hey, don't let that limit you. Look anywhere else that you can to find this film. This film is really, really tremendous, and I recommend you take it look at it. The father in this film is a very is a very stoic type of father. His presence alone commands respect of his children, but also fear of his children. The little brother in this film, you can tell this family is a struggling family. They are outsiders in this town, in a town that has kind of passed them up. They're still kind of stuck in a different time frame, as you can see. But it's not like a mysterious time frame. But man, this movie was great. I don't want to give away any of the ending or spoil anything that's in it. I'd rather you watch it for yourself to see if it's something that you would rather see. I think that it's worth watching, and I'm thankful that I got to see it because if anything else, I was able to see Julie Gardner kill it in this role, and so well worth that. Let me go ahead and give you my markouts on this film. Also, before I get to my markouts, I want to say this: the cinematography in this movie is really good. The town feels like a real town with real people in it that have real stuff going on in their lives. So this movie is great, and the third act in this movie really takes this to a different place. And I'm sorry that it took me so long to see this, but I'm glad I finally saw it. And it was something that was already on my list, but I'm glad I was able to see it as it came up on my list on Shudder. But yeah, movie is great. All the acting is great in it, and wow, it's a movie that sticks with you, sticks to your bones, sticks to your gristle. Yeah, you want to see that type of movie, don't you? Movies that stick to your bones and on the gristle. This is what this movie does for you. So I recommend you take a look at this movie. If anything else, check out Julia Gardner. And if you want to see more of her, please, I beg you, check out Ozark on Netflix. It is tremendous. It is a good show. Show that that I binged really quickly because it was just that good. But anyway, this is for this week's edition. Let me go ahead and give you my markouts before I leave. Yeah, so I give this movie 4 markouts out of 5. It's not perfect, but it was a fun little horror film, and I was glad to be able to see it. And so I think that you will enjoy it as well if you take time to watch it. So thank you for marking out with me here on the Mark Out Movie Podcast. Thank you for sponsoring us. No, you're not sponsoring us, but if you want to, hey, please sponsor us. But thank you for subscribing, sharing, liking, commenting. What is it that's on Shudder? If you have Shudder that you want me to see and want me to review, please let me know in the comments below, and I will try to do so. Thank you for tuning in to our channel, and thank you, as I always say, for marking out with us here at the Mark Out Movie Podcast.